2 weeks ago, Zach here left a comment on one of my videos. He's lining up to race the COR Powersports Cross Country Series this January. A challenging thing for him is this: what protective gear does he actually need? And is what he already owns even going to pass tech? So today, that's the whole video. Snowmobile racing PPE. Straight from the rule book with no guessing. Zach, you also asked about what you can and can't change on the sled and still call it stock. That video is coming, but it's gonna get its own video because cramming gear and stock class rules into one 10-minute video does not do you any favors. Here's the thing I ran into building this for you. I've been racing cross country for 10 years. I've been through the tech inspection process more times than I can count. And when I sat down to make a list of everything a beginner needs to know about PPE, nothing on that list felt like it mattered enough to say out loud. Not because it isn't important, but because I've done it so many times, it just disappeared into muscle memory. So instead of working off memory, I pulled the actual rule book online. This is the ISR standard most cross-country organizations build their rules from, COR included. And going through it again, page by page, brought back exactly why every one of these rules exists. Not just what it says, but why it's there. That's what we're doing. I'm going through this the same way you're going to have to. And every requirement we hit, I'm pulling the actual piece out of the gear bag. That way you can see it, not just hear about it. And speaking of, first thing every beginner thinks about, and rightfully so, is your helmet. The rulebook doesn't leave much room here. It has to meet Snell's 2025 certification or the European ECE 22.06 standard. And whatever decal is on that helmet, ECE or Snell, it has to stay visible. Can't be covered up or scratched off. And they can reject the helmet on the spot. Looks like I need to make sure mine's visible. Good thing I'm doing this video. This doesn't have to be a moto helmet like this, or one with a visor and goggles. This can be personal preference. I run a moto helmet as it's the most comfortable for me, doesn't fog up my goggles, and the visor helps with roost, snow dust, and a little bit of aerodynamics. In the past, we had to run hi-viz helmets, which means this orange here. I have an inventory of full orange helmets, and this has changed. And many manufacturers don't even sell hi-viz orange helmets anymore. Even though it's not required, I still highly recommend getting something that is hi-viz. The easier it is to see you, the safer you will be. I have actually installed a hi-viz helmet graphic kit on the back of this helmet just to make sure I have more visibility. Hearing protection is mandatory if you're in a non-stock class, and I recommend it even in stock. I don't run hearing protection, but I still recommend it. Being at high speed and the wind noise can be dangerous on the ears. Now there's the one I want you to slow down on, Zach, because this is where I see beginners spend money on the wrong things. The rulebook requires 4 things in your upper body protection: chest protection, back protection, shoulder, and kidney. All 4 have to work together as one system. And it says this directly. A typical motocross chest protector does not meet this rule. If you're coming over from dirt bikes or you already own motocross gear, don't assume that it transfers. This has to resist penetration, studs and carbides, and absorb the shock of a real impact across your whole body and back, not just take a hit on a chest plate. The common go-to protector is a tech vest, similar to this one. There are other options out there, and I recommend going with a brand that is tried and trusted, like the tech vest. I have an EVS chest protector here that I use for trail riding in most terrain races. It meets the requirements of chest and back and even shoulders, and it gives me a lot of mobility. Sadly, this chest protector specifically isn't made anymore. 509 sells a pretty sleek looking chest protector. I even got one of those for my wife for trail riding. I came across the brand Icon Field Armor, which is a soft core vest. Looks like a tech vest, but smaller shoulder profile, which I bet would fit comfortably under a jacket or jersey. I know nothing about this brand, so do a little research if you're interested. I think that style of chest protector is mostly preferred amongst many racers. Again, Just be sure it's not a roost deflector for motocross. Arm pads are optional. Elbow pads are highly recommended, in my opinion. I recommend a ballistic chest protector like this one. This actually includes elbow pads. I've come off a sled enough times out on a lake to tell you smacking that elbow off glare ice does not feel good. It may feel restrictive on the forearms, but it's worth it to save you from a season-ending elbow injury. In editing this video, I realized I actually didn't talk enough about the penetration. If you look at the difference between that ballistic vest and what Tech Vest provides, you can see the coverage area is more like nooks and crannies between where the padding is. And Tech Vest is so good is they're specific to snowmobiling, because say you do come off and your sled tips over and the track is spinning and it ends up hitting you, it's gonna tear up anything that's in its path. And that vest is designed specifically for impact and to prevent that shredding. Back to the video. I highly recommend hit pads. Again, I came off the sled on glare ice and smacked not only my elbows, but my hip bones as well. It's not a good feeling. There are pairs like this that are compression shorts and aren't super bulky. I recommend these. And make sure whatever you look at has actual hip pads and not just thigh pads or a butt chamois. These are not in the rules, but I highly recommend them. I don't use a neck brace, and I don't want to start any controversy here, but I did wear one for a couple seasons when I first started racing in 2018. And the one crash I had, it felt like it made my neck hurt more. It was super restrictive, not comfortable, unless you drop big bucks on a really good one. I'll train my neck in the gym and do a lot of exercises to help with mobility and strengthening to just reduce any chance of neck injury. Lastly, get a kidney belt. No negotiating on this one. I raced years without one and would get really bad stomach pain after every race. I thought it was just something I had to deal with. Turns out it was just my kidneys bouncing around on my insides. And that was causing a lot of pain, like sharp knives in my stomach pain. A kidney belt helps keep them from bouncing around. Your kidneys are only surrounded by soft tissue. There's no muscle. So the belt provides an external support system. It is an absolute game changer. I won't even trail ride without one anymore. This is not required by the rules, but a must-have. The shin guard has to run from the top of your foot above your kneecap, and it's got to be built out of a material that can't be penetrated. It's a simple rule, and it's an easy one to check yourself against before you ever get to the track. Not to dive into the debate of knee pads and knee braces, but both meet the rules if the pads align with the literature of the rule book. I run knee braces now after years of just knee pads. They work great at protecting the knee. Where is it? There it is. They work great at protecting the knee and shin, and don't get in the way of my boots. If you want me to dive down this rabbit hole of which is better or why you should run either of them, let me know in the comments. I'll make another video just on that. I'm still recording. Oops. Gloves and real riding clothes are mandatory. Boots have to sit above the ankle with a minimum of 6 inches above the ankle. 6 inches. So this one definitely meets that. I recommend lace-up boots over the BOA twist system with the cables. One season, I went through 4 of those cables on each boot. And what was happening is the BOA system kept rubbing on the stirrups on my sled. They would just wear out and break. It was annoying and time-consuming having to replace those. So I switched up to lace-up boots, and I'll never go back. Gloves, keep it simple, and run what you typically wear trail riding or out in the backcountry. I run a really thin glove and rely on the handlebar heaters to keep my hands warm. Thicker gloves will get pulled out if it's stupidly cold, and I make sure I break them in, especially if they're a new pair, while I'm training or trail riding, so I just don't get nasty blisters on my hands, which has happened before. And then there's the orange. 144 square inches, let me go get my jacket. Blaze orange, it's gotta be both visible on the back and the front of your upper body. This one is getting challenging as gear brands are making less and less race gear specific to this rule. They still exist, but style is limited for some brands. You can always call up a brand's customer service line and ask. Also, make sure that any wrap you have on your sled doesn't have hi-viz orange. It's important that people on the track can differentiate between the rider and the sled if in the worst case you came off of the sled. If you see orange tumbling through the snow dust, that's the rider, not the sled. Gives other riders on the track a chance to keep you safe if the worst case scenario happens. Zach, that's your PPE. Straight from the book, nothing guessed at. You've got what the rule book requires. You've got a couple things I'd never skip, even though they're optional. And now you've got a reason behind every piece of it, not just a rule you're following blind. This is exactly why I do this, not to hand out a gear list, to make sure the next person walking into this sport actually understands the sport they're walking into. Get your gear together, get to that first race in 2027, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want to see more videos like this, check it out in the playlist here. And if you want to see my more recent video, check it out right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.